Vladimir Putin's 4-hour annual public question and answer session has wrapped up as the Russian president answered journalists' questions. Among the hottest topics, allegations of Russia meddling in the US presidential election, which according to Putin are nothing but US Democrats being sore losers. Marty's Gazdiev was following the marathon Q&A.
Any problem that the American people might have with their electoral system is up to them to resolve, up to them to solve, to find a solution for, and it's none of Russia's business. What is Russia's business is when the Democratic Party and various officials come out and say that it's Russia's fault that they lost, referring, of course, to this mythical army of Russian super hackers who somehow changed the results of the American election. And here Vladimir Putin was very frank. He said the Democrats didn't only lose the presidency, they also lost the Senate, they lost the House of Representatives, they lost the delegates, even the delegates that was supposed to vote for Hillary Clinton defected. That was, you know, the final embarrassment for her. And she's none too happy about that. But here Vladimir Putin says, you know, don't blame Russia for your failures. Don't try to scapegoat this. You had a lot of issues. You had rigged primaries. You had internal corruption, manipulation of public opinion, voter fraud, basically. And now they're trying to blame that all on Russia.
The great figures from American history who were Democrats would surely roll in their graves. Roosevelt would for sure. He was a great figure for the world and American history who united the nation during the hardest years of the Great Depression of the late 30s and during the Great Patriotic War as well. The current administration is dividing the nation, that's obvious. Calling on the electors not to vote for one or another candidate, in this case for the president-elect, that's a step towards the division of the nation. 2 didn't vote for Trump, but 4 of them didn't vote for Clinton. They lost here too. They're losing on all fronts and are looking for someone to blame.
But it wasn't all about the election, the United States election, a whole range of issues, including the assassination of the Russian ambassador in Turkey. Vladimir Putin said the point of that was to ruin relations between Russia and Turkey, that there were elements in Turkey bent on doing that. He lauded Turkey, Iran, on their role in establishing this Aleppo evacuation, a massive humanitarian effort, he said, the largest in recent times. Another big topic that came up during this Q&A session was the issue of nuclear arms. Of course, Russia has been modernizing its nuclear arsenal for years, you know, replacing old weapons, working out and modernizing new systems, installing new systems. The United States has been doing the same, modernizing even its nuclear arsenals in Europe, in the Netherlands, in Italy, Britain, Turkey. You know, no news here. We've known this has been happening for years. Donald Trump, during the campaign, promised that he would expand America's nuclear deterrent. In fact, he said today, let it be, and I quote, let it be an arms race. We will outmatch and outlast anyone. Vladimir Putin was calm about it. You know, this is just a regular thing.
Did Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump just have their first nuclear standoff? Today, Russia's president vowing more nuclear weapons.
And the media went into atomic overdrive. It was almost, you know, a nuclear World War III. No, we've known this has been happening for years, and we know that it'll continue to happen. Both countries modernizing their nuclear arsenals. Russia says it won't be drawn into an arms race. It won't spend itself into bankruptcy like the USSR. It'll spend what it needs, where it needs, and depending on the situation.
Regarding the US President-elect Donald Trump, there's nothing new. Even during his election campaign, he spoke about the necessity of strengthening America's nuclear capabilities and armed forces. I was a bit surprised by the statements of some of the representatives of the acting administration. For unknown reasons, they started trying to prove that the US armed forces are the most powerful in the world. Nobody ever doubted it. If you listen to me carefully yesterday, I spoke about strengthening our nuclear capacities, and in conclusion, I said that Russia is now stronger than any potential, and pay attention here, aggressor. That's very important.
Relations between Russia and the United States are, well, it's no secret, rock bottom. They might improve with Trump, but a little background for you about this story, about the aggressor. Vladimir Putin recently said that the Russian military now is strong enough to defeat any aggressor. Cue various officials from the Pentagon, from the White House, coming out with macho statements about the strength of the United States military, inadvertently putting themselves into the position of Vladimir Putin's hypothetical aggressor. He said he didn't mean the United States, he meant anyone who attacks Russia.
We also got comment on the nuclear issue from Russia's presidential spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov.
What is important is that President Putin has stated that Russia has never been initiator of arms race, and Russia is never going to be initiator of the arms race. So that's why Russia is seeking a constructive and new relationship with Washington, thus creating a new atmosphere of mutual trust, thus enabling all the mechanisms for ensuring global stability and security.
Meanwhile, the Russian leader has sent a letter to the US President-elect. Vladimir Putin sent congratulations for Christmas and the New Year to Donald Trump and his family. Putin expressed hope that the incoming president will take steps to restore bilateral cooperation. Donald Trump has responded by expressing hope that both countries will live up to those expectations.